Hi, I'm Darren,
And I'm Kevin.
and together we are.
Darren and Kevin.
This is our Pechacucci presentation for professional studies. We're both in social care practice year 4 in the Institute of Technology, Sligo. We both interviewed two different people from two different social care backgrounds in the hopes to compare and contrast their answers. My interviewee, I asked what influenced their choice in profession. He spoke about the rescue fantasy and soon realized that you can only save yourself. He felt that, of course, you can do a bit of good sometimes. He also felt he was influenced in his choice of profession from working with street children in Kerry in the late 1980s.
In regards to the lady I interviewed, currently a youth worker in Freuga, she had a lot of voluntary experience in her local youth club, and she was also a member of our local Freuga club when she was a teenager, which influenced her decision into becoming a youth worker. Her second year college work placement was also in the area of youth work.
We quizzed them then on the qualifications. My interviewee had a few of them, to be frank. He had a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology and Politics. He also had a postgrad in Social Care, an advanced diploma in Child Welfare and Protection. He also had two masters, one of which was in Child and Youth Work, and the other was in Education and Training, to name just a few of his qualifications.
Now, the woman I interviewed currently holds a Level 8 Honours degree in Applied Social Studies from the Institute of Technology in Blanchardstown, and through her own continuous professional development, she's undertaking further training within Freuga, including relationships and sexuality training, drug and alcohol prevention training, assist training, and child protection training.
We asked them what we felt challenged them the most during their studies. My interviewee spoke candidly about what he felt was a lack of understanding displayed by academic lecturing. He says while they know a lot, they know nothing at the same time in regards to maybe working in the field and bringing that stuff into actual your own work and your own intelligence.
Now, my interview found it particularly difficult during the course of her own studies to juggle her personal and workload associated with college. She had noted that a lack of hands-on modules in relation to different scenarios in the workplace prior to work placement made it difficult for her to go from a classroom setting into a working environment from college.
We asked them then, is there anything else they would like to have studied on top of what they already had? My interviewee thought that computing would be important given that the amount of referrals nowadays are done online. He also mentioned play therapy and learning how to interview on the phone. He also felt there should be more classes in supervision for the do's and the don'ts and how to be the best supervisor you can be.
Again, in relation to something she thought would have been beneficial to her in the course of her own studies, particularly in her fourth year, would have been the addition of a module in management. As she said, it would have been a valuable addition to her if she ever wished to step up to a management within the Freuga organisation.
In regards to their first jobs, my interviewee started off his career as a special needs assistant in a residential care centre in Galway. Over there he was working for the Brothers of Charity.
Upon completion of her degree, she began working with young people in Freuga and became the coordinator of the early school leaver programme in the Blanchardstown Youth Service.
Interesting stuff. In regards to how do they manage their professional boundaries, my interviewee felt that sometimes he didn't, and that people always can come back looking for answers and stuff like that. He felt you have to protect yourself and you need transparency and supervision at the same time. He felt that there was a blurring of roles in society, where the guards thinking they're social workers, teachers thinking they're psychologists, and there needs to be more definition for those roles.
Now, again, in relation to professional boundaries, as Darren said, my interviewee received training within the Freuga organisation to become more aware of what a professional boundary is, and in relation to her work with the young people, she followed the guidelines and policies in place within Freuga in relation to the child protection policies.
We asked them what we felt they could most empathise with in regards to their work. My interviewee felt that out of control, aggressive behaviour in young people was where he was best suited. He felt that all behaviour has meaning and that children just want to be asked. He feels that as all social care workers, we need to ask what the behaviour is saying.
Now, my interview said that while she enjoys working with all types of young people from all different backgrounds, she finds it particularly easy to empathise with children who come from more marginalised living, and as she thought it's the young people's last chance in education, she really feels the drive to help them succeed, as they may not have had the same opportunities as the young people their own age in the area.
We also asked, has their commitment to their work ever hurt them? My interviewee again spoke candidly, as he had done all interview, and felt that being on call at night and out of hours, this meant that the boundaries between family life and work life were oftentimes blurred. He felt the effect that this had on him was that it could be taken out on the children, whether as home children or in the workforce.
Now again, in regards to commitment to work impacting negatively on her, my interviewee talked about how she had a tendency, especially at the start of her career, to work overtime when it wasn't necessary, and she used to bring her own work home with her. Even a simple thing like bringing her work phone home after hours made it particularly difficult for her to achieve a healthy work-life balance.
We asked then how their work had influenced them positively. My interviewee spoke about he's more patient, understanding, tolerant, broad-minded, and able to think on his feet, as well as being less ethnocentric.
My interviewee felt that she had grown both personally and professionally during her time in the professional workplace, and she became much more confident in showing her own initiative in the workplace.
The biggest challenge my interviewee felt he faced was looking after a large group of children with challenging behaviour over in Florida after flights were grounded in September 11, 2001. This followed after a series of unfortunate events, and he felt he was left with a small team to look after this, and this was very, very tough and the most challenging thing he'd ever done.
And without going into too much detail, she spoke about her first child protection disclosure and case, and she said it was very stressful and difficult for her to write up the child protection report, and availed of the debriefing and supervision service offered to her by the management team within the Freuga organisation.
This has been our presentation. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any more questions, of course, feel free to ask.
And thank you for listening.
Thank you very, very much.